So, good evening. I know I've been gone for a long time. I have been trying to just, finish up the semester for graduation, which is in like a couple weeks. So I just had to focus on school stuff. But hopefully you guys listened to the couple of interviews that I did before last month. And I wanted to drop in and do an episode about redirection. But also hopefully I'll be able to keep up and get back to my regular schedule of weekly episodes. So thank you again for being patient. I just have a lot of stuff I had a lot of stuff to do. I had to do that paper and the poster and just, wrap up stuff, but I got it done. So far I've got an A on the poster, so I'm just waiting for the paper. And yeah, I'm not worried about that. I did a really good job on it, so I'm not worried about my grade on that. Like I said, I'm getting ready for graduation, which is the end of this month, so I'm excited for that. And I'm trying to think what else. I did get an award from school, which I was not expecting at all. It was for leadership, a leadership award. So that was cool. I believe they're gonna give it to me at graduation, I think, or mail it to me. I don't know. But I'm so tunnel vision on the end of the graduation being done. So yeah, hopefully everybody is having good beginning of May. The weather has been really bad here. So hopefully I'm praying that it gets better. I'm praying that we have a great summer. A warm, hot summer, please. This is not it. And yes, so what I want to talk about is a post that I saw today. Well, not today. It was a couple of days ago, but I just haven't been able to record since I saw it. But it was something that stuck out to me. Hopefully it's helpful to someone. Like I always say, I hope that these episodes and information is helpful to somebody. And lately I've been seeing a lot of angel numbers, so I don't know if anybody else has experienced that, but definitely means something good is coming, change is coming, blessings, so I'm excited. But let's get into it. So the post was on Instagram from a woman. Her page is Christine Kane. And I just happened to come across the post. I think somebody posted on their story or something. I feel like that's usually how I find posts. So it says, most of us view interruptions as distractions from our goal. But what if the interruption is God's redirection to something greater? So, and below it says, many of us are no stranger to delays, detours, and distractions through the past couple of years. I want to remind you that God is always at work amidst these interruptions. You may have found yourself in places you would not normally go or with people you would not normally encounter, but that very well may be the precise direction that God is purposely leading you. I believe the number of divine interruptions we experience in our lifetime often directly correlates with our willingness to be interrupted. If you are willing to make space for divine interruptions, you may be surprised with what God will do. So, I feel like this is a great post because, like she said, for the past couple of years, especially with COVID, I feel like everybody had that. COVID itself was a interruption that redirected a lot of people, whether it be career-wise, financially, emotionally, mentally, physically. It definitely brought about a lot of growth for people, redirected people as far as what their goals are and just how they view life and how they're living their life. And I felt like a lot of people made positive changes in their life throughout those years as well. So, while it's an interruption, like the post says, it's important not to view an interruption as a distraction, but maybe just as a redirection to something greater. Something I've definitely learned is like, let things be and let the universe, let God take over and let God direct you in all things. And really all you can do is just pray for direction, pray for guidance, pray for signs. And the signs can be, you can ask for certain things. Like you can ask for a rainbow or a butterfly or something like that. Or for me, I always ask for numbers or just like a sign of something, whether it be like a post or anything like that. So, like I was saying earlier, I've been getting a lot of angel numbers, and what I've been doing now when I see the angel numbers is I'm saying, thank you, God. And another thing that I saw, I don't remember if I posted it on the Instagram of Black Hippie Lounge, but there was something that I saw on Twitter that I've been practicing since I saw it, and it's a mantra that you can say to God. It's I can't find the post, but it's saying, God, show me how good it can get. And I've been saying that just in prayer, especially when I'm seeing angel numbers, because I keep saying the angel numbers. I just keep saying, thank you, God. I see the signs. Show me how good it can get. So I feel like that doesn't limit, what you ask for with God. And, I feel like God, when you ask God to show you how good it can get, like that's, a time for God to do things in your life that you will have to give God all the glory and the recognition, because, you asked for it. And, it's 9 times out of 10 going to be something bigger than you ever imagined. So, like I said, I've been doing that for myself, just saying that. And I feel like it's increased me seeing angel numbers, which has, before I would always see the angel numbers and be like, okay, what does it mean? Looking it up. And now I don't even do that, as just like, I already kind of know what they need, but also, just taking it like as a sign that I'm getting closer to my blessings and my goals and what's next, and just being more open to it and just being excited. And I would say like 222 is something that I've been seeing for the past couple a lot of months, honestly, because that was what I was seeing before I got my new job. So we're talking about like 2021, the end of 2021, and I'm still seeing it frequently, like on a daily basis, whether it be on the clock or just I've been seeing a lot of angel numbers on plates too. So to get back to the post, it's like when we experience an interruption, we should try to look at it like it says, not as a distraction or a problem. It's something that, it obviously could be something that's not expected. So I suggest, like, when that happens, try to evaluate the situation. Maybe try to figure out why God feels that whatever path you're on needs to be interrupted, whether it be because he has something better in mind for you, or it could be that you have more to learn, more to offer, or you haven't completed an assignment that he has given you. Even I can use my own example. Myself, I've talked about a lot, is when I was in grad school. I'm in grad school, but remember, I was supposed to graduate. Well, I started in 2019. So 2020, 2021. Okay. Technically, I was supposed to graduate this year because it's a 2 to 3 year program, but I was on the course to graduate in 2 years. So I wanted to graduate in 2021. And if you are a listener, you know that it got interrupted. I had a whole fiasco with the school, got kicked out of the program temporarily and had to fight to get back in, blah, blah, blah. And so, for the longest, even on here, I was saying how I don't understand why, I still don't know why it happened, but I'm glad that I got through it, and I just kept saying that to myself. And I don't necessarily fully know completely, but I think that something that I'm able to help myself understand with that interruption and other interruptions that have happened in my life as within the past couple of years, and just even on recently, is that what I've been telling myself is like, everything happens for a reason. You are where you're supposed to be. And sometimes it's not for you to understand right away. Sometimes it's something that you're going to understand later on. I think that when we practice that, it makes it easier to go along with the interruptions and allow God to do what he feels needs to be done. He's interrupting your plans. Like, I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but I've seen it before, and I've heard it's like a saying that, I'm sorry, my mind went blank. When God, I think it's when God wrecks your plans, it's to help you before your plans wreck you, or something like that. But basically, when God interrupts your plans, it's to save you before your plans ruin you, basically. And even though it's hard as humans, because we always have in our head what we think is going to happen and what we want to happen, we have to learn to surrender and let God do what needs to be done. Because when you fight it, you can fight it, but it's not going to change the story. Your story's already written. So it's just you don't have access to the book. And that's the whole point of life, is to enjoy your life on a daily basis, because you don't know what's going to happen. And all you can do is, you can plan as much as you can, but there's another saying is that, like, when you make plans, God laughs, or something like that, or basically like that, like, and conclude, like, summarize, like, basically when we make plans as humans, it's funny to God because God still has the last say, and God already knows what's gonna happen. So sorry, I'm a little stuffy because I just washed my hair, so yeah. That had nothing to do with anything, but the point is, surrender. That's my point with this post, is like, surrender. And it's hard because when you have a goal in mind and you have an idea of how the best way for you to get there, it's hard when you have tunnel vision like that. It's hard when something throws you off track, and sometimes I think that we try to get back on the track, and that's a part of the problem too, because maybe you got thrown off the track because the track was going to lead you to destruction, and it wasn't going to lead you to your goal. So again, remaining open, surrender, and allowing God to do what God needs to do in your life, and show gratitude to God, even when you don't even feel like you are where you want to be or what you want to have yet. Attract positivity into your life by being, positive as well, and exuding that and bringing it, welcoming it to your life. Like I said, the mantra that I've been saying is like, whether I see an angel number or not, it's just at random times saying, God, show me how good it can get. And definitely when I see angel numbers, I feel like that's like a time for me to just say, God, thank you. I've been saying, God, I recognize the signs. I recognize this as a sign. I not accept it, but I receive it, and I claim it, and I manifest my dreams and goals, and show me how good it can get. And I would challenge you to say that, start saying that if you're comfortable doing so. Just, obviously doing whatever other prayer you do, but just saying to God, show me how good it can get, and seeing, what happens in your life, whether you start seeing more numbers, if that's something that you are someone who catches those. And again, just to reiterate or go over angel numbers are when you see a sequence of the same number. Usually, for me, what I've been seeing is, I said 222, but also like for the past couple of months, every morning I'm seeing 1010. It starts with 1010, and then I've seen 1111, 1212, 111. 222, 333, 444, 555. I've even been seeing 666, 777, 888. I saw it on a plate. 999. I've seen just like randomly, if I'm like on an Instagram page, like that's how many followers that person has. So again, like I said, I've been seeing every angel number. If it's not on a daily basis, all of them, it's definitely at least six plus. And I know something is getting closer, especially when I start to see 666, 77, 888, 999, because those are not ones that I ever see really like that. And there's different meanings, I think, for different ones, but the general basis of them is a lot of it is usually change, new beginnings, releasing, love, welcoming new things into your life. The angels are near you, angels hear you, your prayers are heard, and good things are coming, and just surrender. I think that's the main thing, is like surrender. So, like the post says, just to remind you that God is always at work amidst these interruptions. And I mean, God is always at work anyway, even when we think that God is not listening or doing anything in your life. Sometimes, I think I've said this before, is like you're being tested. God wants to see how patient you can be. And recently that's been happening to me, where I was getting a little bit impatient, but then I was like, that's when I saw the post about God show me how good it can get. And I started to just be like, okay, let me just remember like what I've been through, things that have happened before, and how God has come through. And so just learning to surrender and let things be, and just be excited for what is to come. And, reminding myself that usually it's more than likely it's going to be stuff that I would never even imagine. And so I'm excited to see what's going to happen, whether it be tomorrow, 3 months from now, next year, whatever. Right. So just being open and letting God, paint the picture. I don't want to I still do the work by manifesting and praying and setting goals for myself, but excuse me, I don't want to have any more distractions on that I create for myself. If I get distracted, I don't want to get distracted. Sorry. If I have an interruption, let it be because of God, doing something different in my life, but I don't want to get distracted. I want to stay. I don't know if you've seen a post again on Instagram that it was Rick Ross. He was having a interview, I think, on a radio station, and he's like, I don't want to move quickly. I want to move correctly. So for me, I definitely resonated with that, because same here. Like, I don't want to move quickly. I want to move correctly. I want to move how God wants me to move. I'm so open and like ready for what God has for my life that I just want to take it, let God take the reins, and just sit back and let things happen. And you have to have faith that everything that happens in your life is for a reason. Where you are right now, listening to this podcast, is for a reason. Whatever's happening in your life, it's for a reason. Whether it's hard or not, persevere through it, because it's even the trials that come to your life that God necessarily doesn't, make happen. God lets it happen for a couple of reasons, to, show you how good it can get, because God will use storms in your life to, I don't want to say show off. I want to say like show how good his glory can be so that he can get all of the glory once you get through the storm. God uses storms to make you stronger. God uses storms to build your faith in God and in the word and in yourself. God uses storms to bless you, to allow you to bless others. God uses storms to give you a story or give you something to learn so that you can share it with the next person. There's a lot of reasons why storms come into your life. No one's life is like cool coasting all the time. Storms make you, they can either make you or break you. It's up to you what you let it do. And for me, I'm gonna, let it make me. I'm not gonna break, despite whatever comes my way. And you should feel the same. So I'm trying to think anything else I want to bring from that post. Oh, yes. Okay. So what it says here, it says, I believe the number of divine interruptions we experience in our lifetime often directly correlates with our willingness to be interrupted. If you are willing to make space for divine interruptions, you may be surprised with what God will do. Kind of like I was saying, the more open you are, don't sit there and evaluate like, that's something I used to do too. So that's why I can say it now. It's like when somebody, I'm sorry, I hope me being stuffy is not annoying, but when somebody like would leave out of my life, or when a job didn't come through, or something, whatever interrupted my plans that I had in my head for my life, I used to dwell on it and try to figure out like, what did I do? Why didn't it? I don't understand, but now it's like, oh, you know what? It is what it is. And if that person was supposed to be here, they would have been, because I talk to God every day and every night. And I go through God for everything. I come to God for advice for everything about my life, because like I said before, I don't want any distractions. I want to stay on the path that God has for me. So, something I also been practicing when someone new comes into my life, no matter what way, whether it be a friend, romantic, whatever, let me consult with God. Like, is this person supposed to be here? Am I supposed to be open for this person? Is this somebody that I should be allowing in my life? And if not, please remove them, because I don't have time. And I have experienced when I do that, all of a sudden that person is ghost, or we fall off, or whatever the case may be. So that's another thing you can practice, is like I said, talking to God and just consulting with God about things in your life and the choices that you make or choices that you might make, so that you can avoid, and you don't want to get redirected to the bad path. You want to stay on the path that God has for you. So as much as you can get that GPS and those directions from God, utilize that. And like the post says, let God take control, because what you think might be in your mind and what you dream, God has something even greater than that. Something that you can never imagine or think for yourself. So I know for me personally, I'd rather have the greater thing, what God thinks is what I need versus what I think I need. So I hope that this was helpful, and that you could take this message and utilize it in your life. If you are experiencing an interruption, try not to look at it as a distraction from your goal, but versus maybe a redirection to something greater, or redirection to something that's more fitting for what God has for your life, because you can't see years from now. God can. And so again, trying to show gratitude and allow God, to do what God needs to do in your life and directing your life. And you want to get to the great thing. You want to get to the good things and things that are meant for you in your life. So I hope that this was helpful. Again, I am sorry that I was gone for so long. I just had to take care of business. But I definitely am going to get back into it now that I will be finishing up with school. So getting back to weekly episodes. I want to get back to doing interviews. I do have an interview coming up in June that I'm going to do for someone else's podcast. So I'm excited to do that. Their podcast, I will have to shout it out later because I can't think about the name and stuff like that right now. Or maybe I can. Hold on. They are a local Boston podcast. Oh man. And actually, Yanli, when he did his interview with me, the person that I'm going to be doing the interview with, her name is Tati. She has a podcast with her friend. I don't remember her name, but the podcast is called Girlfriend's Guide. And so I'll be on their podcast soon. So check out their podcast. It's called Girlfriend's Guide. And they're from Boston as well. I've listened to a couple of their episodes. Very funny, very informative. So I'm excited to collaborate with them and hopefully some other podcasters as well. Now, like I said, my time will be definitely more open this summer to be able to collaborate and expand on the podcast. So I'm going to get back into it. Trying to think any other information. Just follow podcasts at Black Hippie Lounge on Instagram and Twitter, and rate and review the podcast. You can, leave a review. We're very helpful. It allows other people to discover the podcast as well. So I would definitely appreciate it if you do. Share it with your friends, family, whoever. And I hope that everyone has a great night and a great rest of the week. And as usual, I'm your host, Chanel. This is Black Hippie Lounge Podcast. And meditate, manifest, invest in you. Meditate, manifest, invest in you. Join me on my spiritual journey as I elevate myself and like-minded listeners to a higher level, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thank you for listening. This is Black Hippie Lounge, and I am your host, Chanel.